How did sexual objectification ruin Taylor Lautner's career when he was just 17? What did Nikki Reed reveal about the cast giving each other the cold shoulder? And what nasty things did Pattinson and Stewart go through while starring in the franchise? Hi, I'm Janet. Taylor Lautner. Alright, Twihearts, if you are a real ride-or-die Twilight fan, then you've probably already heard that we might be getting Stephenie Meyer's long-awaited alternative version of Twilight called Midnight Sun. But before you start taking your positions as either Team Jacob or Team Edward, you may want to pump the brakes on that, because your favorite cast members will most likely not be returning. Starting with Taylor Lautner. While the 28-year-old actor claims to have enjoyed playing Bella's on-screen love interest, there were times when he hated his character Jacob Black. What could be so awful about playing Jacob? Well, going shirtless for the cameras all the time. The actor shared that constantly being forced to show his body was the worst part of his job, especially since he felt like he was so much more than his washboard abs and perfect tan. To make matters worse, it seemed that he was the only one expected to be shirtless all the time. I am always the only person with my shirt off. So, I wish just everybody could, do it once, and then, it would make me feel more comfortable, said Lautner. And now that we think about it, we're pretty sure that he had to have his shirt off more times than he had it on, which many fans aren't exactly complaining about. But his lack of a shirt wasn't his only issue. Taylor hated his infamous black wig, and if we're being honest, we don't exactly blame him. The wig was a very important co-star. Right now, I'm not missing much, Lautner joked to MTV News a year after filming Wrapped. There was a hatred between both of us. It did not like me, I did not like it. Not fond memories. But even with these more trivial complaints, he had one major issue with the Twilight franchise: the fact that it would mark the beginning and end of his acting career. Ever since Twilight stopped filming back in 2012, it seems that Taylor has had to watch his career absolutely vanish. Lautner went from having a hardcore fan base and pulling in millions of dollars per film, and even dating Taylor Swift, to having a dwindling career. So, while he may have had minor roles in a few indie films since, it seems that Lautner is out of the Hollywood limelight. Nikki Reed. She may have played a cold-blooded vampire on Twilight, but it seems that Nikki Reed is returning to her famous fangs, as she is clearly ready to bite. And not in a cool, action-packed, on-screen kind of way. Reed has been pretty candid, if not harsh, about how she feels about the movie series. And well, let's just say she isn't a fan. During an interview with 17 magazine, the brunette-haired actress brought up the on-set feud between herself and her co-stars. In the beginning, it was innocent and fun, and we were like one big happy family. It was like being at sleepaway camp. And then success comes along and changes the dynamic. She even went on to say that she doesn't feel particularly sentimental when she looks back on the Twilight era. Once again, the 32-year-old former vampire let out a little more sass when asked about the behind-the-scenes cast drama. "We're not all best friends, and we're not all going to hang out together," she said. But if you thought that was her only issue with her fellow cast members, think again. Nikki's character, Rosalie Cullen, was described as incredibly beautiful in the book, and well, fans didn't think that she had the looks to carry the part. Nikki mentions how taking on the role of Rosalie made her feel self-conscious and broke her sense of self-esteem, especially since she was constantly told that she couldn't meet the high beauty standards of her character. So given the fact that she isn't a fan of her former co-stars and that she credits much of her self-consciousness to her famous character Rosalie, it's pretty safe to assume that she won't be returning to the franchise. But let the record show that she is definitely keeping busy, as she is currently raising her daughter together with her actor husband, Ian Somerhalder. Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson may have birthed the famous Team Edward army, but that doesn't exactly mean he was too chuffed about it. In fact, one quick Google search will prove just how much Rob hated the franchise and constantly chooses to take jabs at the Twilight era. So yes, the king of sexy vampires has proved that it isn't always so sunny in Forks, Washington. Pattinson has made it clear that his time playing the famously glittered vampire actually made him feel incredibly uncomfortable. So what made him so uneasy about the role? Well, the fact that they represented something he doesn't particularly like. The more I read the script, the more I hated this guy. So that's how I played him, as a manic depressive who hates himself, Pattinson told Empire magazine in 2008. Plus, he's a 108-year-old virgin, so he's obviously got some issues there. Ouch. Pattinson also opens up about the scariest part about being in the franchise, and his answer might shock you. The actor claimed that being a part of the vampire saga was absolutely terrifying, as he slowly began to lose his sense of identity. So much so that he felt he had lost his dignity in the process. But if anyone needed further proof of just how deep his hatred for Twilight goes, just take a moment to see what he thinks about the fans. When asked about Twilight fans, Pattinson said, "Sometimes I ask myself what these masses of people do the whole day. They sit in front of their computers and comment on anything having even remotely to do with Twilight." So, we're going to take that response and slight dig as a clue that Pattinson will not be making an appearance in Midnight Sun. But the actor is definitely keeping busy, as he will be portraying Batman in the upcoming American superhero film. He is also currently loved up with girlfriend Suki Waterhouse, and the two seem madly in love. Swoon. Ashley Greene. It seems like every other day back in 2008, there was an Alice Cullen fan page being created, and it was for good reason too. Her character was incredibly adorable, sweet, and warm. You know, despite being a cold-blooded vampire. And so, with a massive fan base and adoring supporters, you would think that Greene would love the movie that made her a household name, but that isn't exactly the case. When chatting to Wonderwall, the actress said, quote, "Twilight has ruined me." The actress that truly brought back the pixie haircut claims that being a part of a popular film series isolated her from her friends and ruined her for future career opportunities. And her rather empty resume is proof of that. Unfortunately, Greene is another Hollywood actor that has unfortunately experienced the good, the bad, and the typecast. Ashley has mentioned on several occasions how she hates that people just see her as the other girl from those vampire movies. But fans were still optimistic that she might return to her much adored role. But her thoughts on Midnight Sun proved to quickly shoot down those dreams. "I honestly think it's a bit too soon," shared Greene, as she claims that she is looking to expand on her acting roles. So, if you were hoping to see Alice Cullen again, you're going to have to settle for the older movies, because that's exactly where her character is staying. Kristen Stewart. Did you know that back in 2012, Kristen Stewart was the highest paid actress in Hollywood by Forbes magazine? That's right, the actress hauled in a whopping $35 million. And even with all the fame, money, glitz and glam that the Twilight franchise brought her, she struggles to look back on the experience. From the moment Twilight was released, Stewart was thrust into superstardom, which she claims she was never ready for. "I was 17 or 18 when it all kinda went down, and that's the most uncomfortable, terrible, weird time. Being in the limelight has its perks, like that hefty paycheck, but it also had its downfall, like her infamous breakup with her co-star, Robert Pattinson, after she publicly cheated on him with director Rupert Sanders. And Twilight's fans weren't exactly kind when the news broke. But following her first public scandal, Stewart ran into her next hurdle. She always felt like her character, Bella Swan, was constantly misunderstood by critics. After reading countless reviews that called her acting cringeworthy and difficult to watch, it seems these comments had an impact on Kristen. Even with her hard exterior and dark liner, she was still soft on the inside and wished people would have seen that. "I am in no way rebellious. I am in no way contrarian. I just want people to like me," Kristen told Vanity Fair. When asked whether she considered reviving Bella Swan, Stewart said, yeah, sure, yes, absolutely. Let's start sending scripts my way. Let's start building this." But before all of you Bella stans start getting excited, the actress was totally being sarcastic. She even fooled interviewer Laura Dern for a second though, who admitted that she was excited before realizing Stewart was fully kidding. I guess Stewart is looking to take on more challenging roles, and we can respect that, even if it kills us a little. Kellan Lutz. Tall, dark, and totally handsome. Kellan Lutz definitely had every teen girl totally in love with an incredibly old vampire, and he totally didn't mind at the time. Playing Emmett Cullen helped put Kellan on the map, and we couldn't be more grateful. But it seems that while many fans look back on the franchise with absolute hard eyes, Lutz is the complete opposite. "I didn't like the script. How scary would a glimmering vampire really be? It just doesn't make sense," confessed the actor to Document Journal. Yikes. It seems that the actor would like to move on from his former vampire days, as he encourages fans to look forward to his upcoming projects instead of dwelling on the past or how attractive he was as Emmett Cullen. And speaking of Emmett, it seems Lutz is a lot more low-key when it comes to talking about his personal life. Unlike his on-screen character, Lutz recently shared that his television host wife, Brittany Gonzalez, is expecting a baby girl after recently suffering a previous pregnancy loss. And how cute was their gender reveal?
Hey, what's your sweatshirt say?
Just that we're having a girl.
Girl mama!
We can't wait to see photos of the little one soon. Jackson Rathbone. This list wouldn't be complete without our quietly mysterious vampire crush, Jasper Hale, who is played by Jackson Rathbone. Besides being the star of some major Twilight fanfiction with his on-screen love Alice, it seems that playing the famous role meant that much like his former co-stars, he would be typecast. The actor claims that casting directors only saw him in more dramatic roles, which meant that he could never audition for more lighthearted parts. Then, Twilight came about, and suddenly, people wanted to pigeonhole me into teen drama, and I really fought against that, shared the actor. And so, in an attempt to keep his roles more varied, he claims that he won't be returning for Midnight Sun, as he is choosing to work on his band, more challenging roles, and creating his very own production company. So I guess for all you Jasper fans out there, it's back to fanfic for you. Although both Stephenie Meyer and production studios have yet to release any other information on Midnight Sun, we want to know what your thoughts are on the potential new version. Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.